What's good, YouTube, man? Today we're gonna be reacting to Stephen A. responding to Steven Jackson calling him a snitch. All right, now look, if you don't know the situation, it was a L.A. Clipper Dallas. I think it was the Dallas Mavericks series. Russell Westbrook did something to somebody where he fouled them hard, or he did something, and that was kind of questionable. He did some, it was like a hard foul or something like that, or like some extracurricular activities. And when Stephen A was doing the halftime show and stuff on ESPN, don't quote me on this, I don't really know, I can't remember exactly what went down, but he was doing the halftime stuff. And he mentioned something to the effect that he called the league office to figure out why Russell Westbrook wasn't suspended. Because if somebody else would have done that same thing, that would have warranted a suspension, a 1-game suspension or something to that effect. And this caused an outrage that I saw initially from Gilly the Kid or Gilly the King. And he was like basically calling him the feds, like, bro, you don't work for the league office. Why you don't work for the league? You're not Adam Silver, so why are you calling the league office type thing? And I guess Steven Jackson called him a snitch. So this is his response.
And part of handling it is addressing people on the level they need to be addressed. And that is when it comes to Steven Jackson.
And I don't know what Steven Jackson said, and if you know Steven Jackson, he could go off the handle. So I don't really know what the reaction was.
Steven Jackson because Matt Barnes
and him and Stephen A are cool,
shortly,
or was
addressed me in a fashion as somebody who had a real problem with what I said and what he interpreted me saying. And again, that's on me. Steven Jackson went in even more so than what he had to say about me with Trump. And I wouldn't say this if I was on a corner with 10 brothers. Stop your lying. Brothers talk any way we want to brothers, because we brothers.
I hate when Stephen A started talking about brothers. Like, we brothers.
We say to each other with differences like that. Opinions are opinions. But what he said about me when it came to Russell Westbrook really raked my nerves.
Well, you don't like the snitch
he
word?
He called me a snitch.
Yep, I figured.
Now, Steven Jackson, I could ask you, were you high?
Oh my God. he tried to go a low blow.
Let me take a look before I ask again.
He trying to throw
also
a low blow, bro.
Called the league office the other day, and this one, Gilly posted this, and this one hurt my soul, man. Like, he called the league office to see why Russell Westbrook was suspended, and that just don't sit right with me. And he's a journalist, he needs information. That shit was just weak.
You don't work for the league. What make you think you got the power to call and get somebody suspended? So
get somebody.
You opening more doors to
he said, "Get somebody suspended."
Now, okay, the times when you done went on TV and spoke bad about me and other players, you called and put your vote in to get people suspended. Is that what you saying? Like that's crazy that you would openly say that. That's the weakest thing he could have ever said on TV, Matt. Back-to-back days. I come from under the old law, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's people that I grew up with that came out of jail that I know that snitching that I ain't fucking with. He a snitch. You snitching, bro. You called the league and told it, nah, fuck that, man. You called the league and tried to get that man suspended. That was the league decision. You don't do no shit like that, bro. You don't do no shit like that. That's the weakest shit ever. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not fucking with him no more. Y'all can be your homeboy. I can't fuck with no shit like that.
Pardon my language.
Oh, he about to go Jason, how he did Jason Whitlock. Now, honestly, what he said wasn't really that bad. Now, Steven might be hurt that he said that he ain't gonna mess with him no more from that. But honestly, Steven Jackson didn't say nothing crazy, in my opinion.
I don't give a fuck that you don't want to fuck with me. I apologize to everybody that don't like me using that language. I just want to say that. Everybody that don't like me using that language. I just want to.
Hold on.
Shit like that.
That was hilarious. From Steven Jackson to Stephen A. Like, you think I care? That was hilarious.
Language. I don't give a fuck that you don't want to fuck with me no more. I apologize to everybody that don't like me using that language. I just want to say that. Where's your facts, Stack? Where's your fact? Where's your facts? First things first, let's look up the definition of snitch.
Oh, bruh, he going this
In a
route.
criminal sense, a snitch will provide information to the police or feds in order to obtain lenient treatment for themselves and provide information over an extended
We know what
period
a
of
snitch
time in
is,
return for
Stephen
money
A.
or
Smith,
for
man.
police to overlook their own criminal activities. Quite often, someone
And
will
you
become
know
an
what Stephen
informant
Jackson meant
following
when he
their
said what he
arrest.
said, bro. He said you telling on people.
By virtue of
You putting the
definition
magnifying
alone,
glass on folks, bro.
you're not making sense. Now I'm going to assume you were sober, because you seem to have a little pep in your step, a little more energy. But I will remind you, Stack, you've come at me several times in the past and we've let it go because you didn't know what the hell you were talking about. You didn't have the facts. You had your emotion. I have the facts. So let me give them to you. Nobody's hiding. Russell Westbrook should have been suspended. I said that shit that day. I said it the next day. I said it Sunday. I don't give a damn how you or anybody else feels. He should have been suspended based on the way he acted on Game 3 against the Dallas Mavericks. That is not why I called the league.
Why?
I called the league because we have a show called NBA Countdown. That show was due to come on in an hour. We had learned that Russell Westbrook would not be suspended for the game. We know that had that been Draymond Green or somebody, they would have been suspended.
All right, I'm gonna stop you right there. Draymond Green been kicking people in the balls since 2015. All right, Russell Westbrook, what he did, he doesn't have an accrued interest when it comes to ball kicking, a low blow giving, or pause, or punching niggas in the face, punching people in the mouth. Russell Westbrook didn't punch his teammate in practice and got his teammate kicked off the team. Russell ain't never did that. Draymond has almost a decade of a WWE tryout. Russell Westbrook don't have a long history of that. He ain't been kicking people in the nuts all year. Off for 10 years. He don't do that. You ain't gonna put that on Russell Westbrook jacket, bro. I don't care how bad he playing.
So I called to find out and decipher what was the reason for him not being suspended. If you need
Stephen A., this is where you went wrong. You worded it the wrong way. You should have said, I wanted to call the league office just to see like what their reasoning was from the disciplinary action that they took. But you wanted to put 100 on 10 to make it like more clickable, clickbaity by saying I wanted to know why they didn't suspend him because if that was Draymond Green, Russell Westbrook don't want to be in the WWE. So you should have said, I wanted to call to see like what the reasoning was behind the disciplinary action that they took. Like why didn't they go lower? Why didn't they go higher? Why did they decide this right here? That's all you could have said, and you'd have been cool.
need to know, I spoke to Joe Dumas to be exact. Ask Joe Dumas, did I ever once say, y'all should suspend him, y'all should suspend him, y'all should suspend him? I never said that. I didn't call for them to suspend Russell Westbrook.
And why you ain't say you talked to Joe Dumas, bro? When you say the league office, it makes it sound like the Illuminati almost. That's another thing. When you said I called the league office, it make it sound like you talked to the board of directors or something. When you just say Joe Dumars, it takes off the heaviness of what his title is. We know he had the league office, bro. But when you say the name, it make it sound less like you going to the principal's office type of thing. It just say, yo, I was talking to Joe. I was talking to the homie Joe Dumars just to see like what their reasoning was behind what they decided to do. That's all you had to say.
For clarification to decipher the difference between what would have definitely occurred with a suspension and why it didn't occur in that case, so I could provide an explanation over the airwaves of NBA Countdown, which is my job.
That's understandable.
You know anything about that? You know what the job entails?
Oh, see, he trying to
any clue?
He trying to piss him off.
Have you been a reporter for 30 years?
He trying to piss him off now.
Do you understand the obligation to ESPN?
He trying to push his buttons
for a flagship show that is the pregame show for the NBA?
He trying to piss on him.
You said I don't work
no
for the
Diddy.
NBA. I work for ESPN, which gives over $1 billion to the NBA. You don't think they wanted the information? What was the rationale? What did I say when I went on TV? I said, quote, they said the officials wrote their written report and stated we had everything under control. Russell Westbrook caused no problems. There was no further incident, and that's why we let it go. Plus, it was the playoffs. Had it been the regular season, Steven, we would have suspended him. But because it wasn't the regular season, it was the postseason, and there's a lot more at stake. We're going to be highly reluctant to do that. That is the report I gave over the air. Would you have preferred that it came from Adrian Wojnarowski? Would that make you feel more comfortable?
Oh, he trying to push his buttons, bro.
Would that have sufficed?
He trying to push his buttons.
I did my job.
He trying to piss Steven Jackson off.
That's what comes with the NBA. You remember when you ran into the stands and you were fighting Stat?
Oh, see, I knew he was gonna mention that.
When Ron Artest got all of that. Remember all of that?
I knew he was gonna mention that, bro.
Remember when I went on the air and spoke? And my ass got raked through the coals for trying to come to your defense? Remember that?
That was in 1987.
I called the league office. How come it didn't bother you when I called the league office back then? That was 2004, 2005. With one incident after another that you or any other player have found themselves in, when the heavy hand of the league office, in all likelihood, is coming down upon you, we call the league office for an explanation to provide it, because the league office wants their explanation over the airwaves from the network. They have a rights deal.
Great. But y'all don't mention that all the time like you did. You made it a point to mention it right then, which magnified the situation. So that's what Steven Jackson is kind of alluding to, even though he may not articulate himself very well. But that's what he's getting at. Like, you made it a bigger situation than what it was. You were extremely outraged, but the league wasn't extremely outraged, obviously, or they would have suspended the boy. Now, if he gave the boy a rock bottom, a spear, or a people's elbow right there on the hardwood court, then you would have a good argument. Or if he had a history of boxing, and he was 1-0 against Jordan Poole, then you would have a point. But it's Russell Westbrook. Yeah, he's a physical dude on the court, but it's like, they didn't feel like it warranted. It didn't warrant a suspension, so leave it. And if you word it a different way, nobody's outraged.
You don't get involved in that too much.
But I know this type of stuff, like this type of reaction, is kind of what Stephen A. probably wanted. So whatever he wanted to happen out to come from this, he got it. So he probably don't care.
Now I know you don't get involved in that too much because you leave that up to Matt Barnes a lot more.
Oh, see, he pushing his buttons. He trying to say that he don't pull no weight. He let Matt Barnes handle all the business, and all he do is show up and read the ads like he doing the presentation and ain't never read nothing before. That's what Stephen A. saying.
But it's business.
He trying to step on his
and I
nerves.
I know you
don't know nothing about that because you let Matt Barnes do that. He's the smart one. He's the smart one.
Everybody can't be
You
used that.
dumb boy. That's what he getting at.
Podcast name work for nobody else. Everybody can't be committed to always representing the streets and representing the players and think you doing something positive for them by giving them wrong or ill-advised advice. Everybody can't get away with that, Stat.
He is trying to piss him off.
Sometimes you got to tell people what they don't want.
He said, hey, you don't mess with me no more? Now I'm about to tell you what I really think about you and really been thinking about you this whole time.
Here.
Since you want to call me a snitch.
Sometimes you got to give it to them straight and real from the other perspective that they inevitably gonna have to deal with. Last time I checked, you ain't writing your own checks. You get it from somebody. Who paying you? You ain't gotta listen to them? You ain't gotta hear what they have to say? You ain't gotta oblige to some degree? You ain't gotta work a little extra? You ain't gotta take on different responsibilities from time to time that you may not necessarily like, but it comes along with the territory because you signed a contract? You don't know anything about that, Stack? I'm making that up.
Bruh.
Come on, bro. You ain't even got to be like that. We were at All-Star Weekend. We were hugging each other so much in the damn restaurant, in the lobby level. Everybody like, y'all must have been boys for years, which we've been. Every time, anytime somebody try to come at you the wrong way, I always remind them you're a real one. You as authentic as they come, you good people. If I disagree with you, I disagree with you. I never disrespect you.
Did you feel disrespected?
And I never, ever, ever in a million years would utter words out of my mouth that would try to turn the brothers against you.
What?
You know what using that word means. You know that's out of pocket. Now I'm going to hold back for now. But make no mistake about it, brother. It ain't fear. Ain't nobody scared. I love you. I've known you for years. You wrong, bro. I didn't deserve that. We know a lot of the same people. You know I know where you from. I know what Port Arthur's all about. I know what you about. You continue to find reasons to get upset. You don't know what went down with me and Kyrie, and you took a position before knowing all the facts. You were upset at me when I was talking to you during the whole, during the riots in the streets. And you were appearing on ESPN or CNN and all of these other networks. And I was talking to you about cats sitting there and wanting you on television and asking you where the hell were they going to be when all of this faded into the twilight. When you wanted to not play in the bubble. When you wanted to not participate. When you didn't want to have an NBA season. And I talked about that force majeure clause that would render collective bargaining agreement null and void. Which means brothers wouldn't be getting paid. We've had our differences of opinions. And there's a lot that I know that you didn't know. I never disrespected you. I never betrayed you. And I certainly never, ever, ever in my wildest dreams thought about opening my mouth and speaking in a way that would make brothers raise an eyebrow towards you as it appears to your authenticity. Don't do it to me. You feel the way you feel, I feel the way that I feel. I respect where you coming from.
Stephen Jackson, Stephen A. Smith is letting you know that what he just said here is just a glimpse into what he actually thinks about you. And if you continue on, he will let you see the entire picture. He just showed you a little corner of the picture. Now he's going, if you keep on going, and keep on continue to run your mouth is what, in Stephen A's words, he is going to paint the entire picture for you. And just the glimpse, it sounds like he think you stupid. Just my take.
But you ain't right. You wrong, and you don't have all the facts. And then to not return my call, to not return my text, to not take the offer that your man Matt Barnes took to come on the show and say it to my face and have a man-to-man conversation. Yo, bro, you better than that. unless speaking to me directly and having to have your facts right in front of my face was a challenge you wasn't willing to accept. As I've said to you and anybody who wants to talk about me, we know that I don't say 75% of the things I know. And we know I don't betray. And we know I damn sure ain't no snitch.
Stephen A. always do that though. He always tell somebody what he know about them. And like you know what I know about you, don't you? You know what I know, and I know that we know together. You know it, and I know it too, and we together know it together against each other. So you know what I know that we know. I ain't say nothing, did I? Like he always allude that he might say something, but he hasn't because he's a good guy. But he could and might if you continue to call him a snitch.
That never gets associated with me, bruh. And it never will. We'll see each other eventually. Mad love and respect to you. No matter how you feel about me. Still got love and respect for you. You just don't know what the hell you're talking about on this issue. You do not have your facts. You are wrong. And if you don't believe me, call the league office. Call ESPN. You got enough contacts.
Sheesh.
Find out how wrong you are. I don't expect an apology from you. But I'll be damned if you didn't owe me one. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Thanks, Granddad.
Until we speak.
Appreciate that. Appreciate the words, Grand. Shut up. Appreciate the words, Granddad. Oh God, I keep that in mind. But yeah, man. This is just a war of words with grown men. I can respect it. I can respect it due to the fact that it didn't get physical. What Steven Jackson said wasn't crazy to me. What Stephen A. said wasn't really crazy to me either. It's two homies or two associates having a disagreement and having a war of words, which ain't nothing wrong with. They ain't got physical. They ain't threatened nobody with physicality. So I don't see nothing wrong with it. Whose side you taking though? You on Stephen A. side? You on Steve Jackson's side? I can understand both sides, me personally. I can see what Stephen Jackson said, and I can also see how Stephen A. could take offense to what Stephen Jackson said. But I understand why Stephen Jackson feels the way he feels, because how it was overt and boisterous how Stephen A. was talking. He was like, you know how I called the league office. I called the league office because Russell Westbrook, he should be suspended. And this is Draymond Green. You know, he do the whole kid and caboodle, bro. He go overboard with the theatrics. So I could see how Stephen Jackson took offense to it. And I could see how Stephen A. could take offense to him being called a snitch. Because he's like, bro, I ain't telling nobody. It was on national TV. We all saw it. It was right there for us to see. If anything, it's kind of tattletale-ish. Like, hey, did you see that? Why didn't he get in trouble? He just did that. He should get in trouble. But yeah, because I feel like snitch is more of a harsher word than tattletelling. Or tattletailing. But yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think, bruh. Is Stephen A. wrong? Is Stephen Jackson wrong? Which Stephen are you rolling with? But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for checking out this vid, bro. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. I would highly appreciate it. But I'll catch y'all in the next vid. For now, I'm out. Peace.